What if God is a 10-dimensional being? What if he isn't just watching over time, but exists outside of it, seeing all past, present, and future events as a single moment? What if we, as humans, are only perceiving a small fraction of his true nature? We live in a 3D world, moving through the fourth dimension, time. But what if God exists in dimensions far beyond our understanding? According to string theory, there may be 10, 11, or even 26 dimensions in reality. These extra dimensions are folded, hidden, beyond what we can see or touch. But a higher dimensional being, one existing in all 10 dimensions, would have access to everything. He wouldn't just predict the future, he would see every possible outcome at once. He wouldn't just be here or there, he would be everywhere at the same time. So what if the God described in religious texts has always been a higher dimensional entity, beyond the limits of human perception? And if that's true, what about Jesus? What if Jesus wasn't just a prophet, teacher, or even a divine figure, but an avatar, a projection of a 10D God into our 3D world? Imagine a hologram. The original source exists in a higher space, but the image that we see is a lower dimensional projection of that greater being. Could Jesus have been the manifested form of God, a way for us to understand a being too vast for our minds to comprehend? Think about it. Jesus said, "Before Abraham was, I am." John 8:58. That's a statement of existence beyond time. He performed miracles, not by breaking the laws of nature, but perhaps by manipulating reality from a higher dimension. Healing the sick, walking on water, multiplying food. What if these were signs of a higher dimensional intelligence, altering our reality the way a three-dimensional being can reshape a two-dimensional surface? Now let's go deeper. If God is a 10D being, that means he isn't bound by time at all. From his perspective, time isn't a sequence of moments. It's a complete picture, all events happening at once. That means, to God, your birth, your death, and every choice you'll ever make are already visible. Not because he controls you, but because he sees all possible versions of you. Just like a 3D being looking at a 2D world can see everything in it at once, a 10D being would see our entire existence in a single glance. This explains why some religious texts describe God as the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Now back to Jesus. What if his life wasn't just a story, but a moment in time where the 10D being stepped into our limited world? What if the miracles he performed weren't magic, but simply acts of a higher dimensional being interacting with lower dimensions? What if his resurrection wasn't a reversal of death, but an escape from the 3D prison of the human body, a return to his true multidimensional form? And what if his promise of eternal life isn't about going somewhere after death, but about transcending into a higher reality, one beyond the limitations of time and space? If God is 10-dimensional, then heaven might not be a place, but a state of existence in a higher dimension. And what if we are meant to evolve into something greater? What if our souls are not bound by 3D space? What if our consciousness, after death, is simply released from the illusion of time and moves into a dimension we cannot yet perceive? Think about it. The concept of spiritual enlightenment, awakening to a greater reality, exists in almost every religion. What if it's because deep down, we've always known that we are more than flesh and bone, that we are in some way connected to something far greater than what we can see? And if that's true, then what if reality itself is just a shadow? What if our entire universe is just a lower dimensional reflection of something much, much bigger? What if our existence is just a fragment of a greater cosmic design beyond human comprehension? What if our perception is the only thing stopping us from seeing the full truth? And what if, one day, we'll finally understand?